Good evening and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxchair, on the show tonight is the one and only AK and an up-and-coming star of Rangers Radio, young JM. How we doing, boys?
Evening, Oxford. Evening, JM, the techie team and everybody that's listening.
Evening, everyone. How are we all doing?
Yeah,
Good,
I read that note out that you sent me, JM.
Yeah, about time we got some positive press.
All right. Yeah, how you?
Yeah, been a little while, but a lot's happened since I was last on. Saturday morning. Thankfully, it's been last time I was on was Saturday morning where it was
we were on a good mood then.
Aye, the calm before the storm. Aye, I was the same, JM, so I'm the same as you.
Yeah. So I didn't realise that you'd been on. Yeah, so we were in probably slightly better mood since the last bit up. But no, but what it has done is gave a lot of time to reflect and maybe be a bit calmer than I would have been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Oh, that's a fair word. You've used reflect. AK.
Aye, well, what can you say? It was a big game, wasn't it? And with a chance to end the season in a high, and we fluffed our lines. But that is what it is. We dust ourselves down. We came back and had a good second half performance against Dundee there during the week, and now we look forward to not so much. Well, obviously we're going to speak about the Hearts game tomorrow, but we've got a cup final to end in a high. But will they? That's the big question.
Aye. And your reflections, JM?
I think all in all, if you're going back and being short, there was more hope than expectation. Because I think if we're summarising a lot, I think we know we've got a lot of players, a mixture of lacking in quality and maybe lacking in attitude for that sort of thing. And I think nothing happened that people didn't expect. It was more out of hope than expectation, I think. But it doesn't make it any easier.
No. But there's big moments, isn't there? There's big moments, and I think you used the phrase "fluff our lines," AK, and I think you're right. You look at all these games this season, and there's been circumstances, and we have fluffed lines, we've had bad calls, but people will say you make your own luck, mate. Eh?
Aye, but there is a part of that. But when you strip back the season and look at it and reflect on it as what we're doing, we have had opportunities to go top of the league, and we always seem to have fluffed our lines, always seem to have come up short. Even when Beale was in charge, the first All Firm game, the first game of the season, we're expecting to start away with a victory at Kilmarnock, we get beat. We then have Celtic at Ibrox, we get beat. The chance to go top of the league there, and then obviously Aberdeen was the final nail in the coffin for him. But Clement came in, and we seemed to get a new energy, a new impetus about us, got ourselves into a position where we could have been top at New Year, and we go to Celtic Park and we get beat. So it's a repetitive kind of failures, and that's hard to bear for the Rangers support. I mean, I've been listening to your shows all week, and it's been brilliant, by the way. The panelists, all the callers, outstanding. But we're hurting now, and we're wondering why, and we're starting to finger point where it went wrong and where we could be improving on it to get things right, and that's where we want to be at the end of the day.
I think, aye. Even last week, JM, I mean, did Silver go to score for you? Did we go one up? Goals changed games, didn't they?
Yeah, if you like. I mean, the first one is a 75% chance. I don't know, 75% chance. Should score, could score. Not saying it's a sitter, but in the type of game it is and the chance you get, it's a very, very good chance. And then the second one, he gets it all wrong, doesn't he? That he's got to score. Or again, good contact on target, and then it hits the keeper's shin when he's running across. You've had a bad bit of luck, but the fact is it had no chance of going in the goal, did it? And following on from what AK said, the chances, I think we can dissect it as much as you like, decisions, individual errors at times, but considering it looks like we're only going to, it's done now, but we're going to lose the lead by 6 points. If somebody puts a YouTube video of the chances we've missed all season, just seems to be the story of us. It's a missed chance. I know every team misses chances. I know, but
every team could do that.
But I'm talking sitters. In big games, sitters in big games.
Well, I'm sure we'll touch on the season as goodbye. You mentioned the Kilmarnock game, and that was a mistake for me right away when he brought back Golson. I think that was a mistake. And he hadn't done a pre-season. I don't know what message it sent out to the rest of the squad. AK, doesn't matter. You don't need to do that training. You just get back in first game of the season.
Aye, you're right, and there was a lot of us questioning it. Is that too soon? And you're saying, who was our defenders' choice at the time? You're talking Suter and Ben Davies. It doesn't send out a good message to them. A guy who's missed all the pre-season, but Beale sees him as his number one, and he's playing him regardless. And you could tell he wasn't fit. He shouldn't have been thrown in that position. But that was Beale sort of making his stamp in the team right away, and no in a good way. It was a negative way. The same when he benched Cantwell for the same game. It was probably one of your bright spots for the previous season. We're looking to make a good impression. We're looking to get a win at a tough venue, and we came unstuck. And for there, it was just for bad to worse. But that was Beale's short stay this season. Last season, he done okay, I suppose, but he still came up short in the big games, the games where it mattered, and that was winning trophies.
All right, so look, we've got to move on, Jay, haven't we? You've got to learn from it, and we've got a game tomorrow. Could have been a big game. It's a bounce game if you have such a thing when we play Hearts at Tynecastle, but it'll be interesting to see the selection. But what we'll do is we'll be here for the manager, and then we'll get the phone lines open, see if people want to join us. But I'm glad you mentioned that Kilmarnock game, because that's a big event in Scottish football. I don't know if you remember it, if you've got the stat for that day, if you've checked it out.
No, not.
AK?
No, Enlighten.
It's became a famous event, and it will go down in history. And I'm surprised you haven't picked it up. Do you want me to come back to you if you can work out after the tune? After we hear the manager, he's a bit of time used to. You just want to have a go, see if you can discover it. I thought you knew a bit about football, obviously you don't, but.
When you go.
Right. All right, okay, fair enough. I'm disappointed in both of you. Anyway, let's hear from your manager, Philip Clement.
Philippe, it's the first time we've been able to speak to you since the title race was officially done. Yeah. What is your reflection on that and the challenge you were able to put up across the season?
That I'm in first place disappointed, because I want to win everything, so you want to become champion. But at the end, that we started with 7 points behind. The first day we stepped into the building, and we could not, in that period, close that gap of taking more than 7 points than Celtic. We took 1 point more until now in that period, but not enough. So that was 7. So you're disappointed about that. You need to leave that behind you and take the good conclusions, how to make things better towards next season. And I'm from already before this game, because we're already a few weeks busy with that. Very focused on those things, on that, on the next game, and on the cup final. So on everything there. And how to improve things towards the future, so the normal things.
You spoke a little bit about that last week in terms of planning for the future. how content are you with the plan that you've got? How far down the road are you with some of the elements of that, in terms of the things you have to put right if you want to be where you want to be this time next year?
I think very important is that I had really good talks with the board about that, what my ideas are in the club, what to change towards recruitment, towards positions, all those things. And let's say that we are about almost everything aligned. That's already a big thing. In a lot of clubs, it's sometimes more difficult. So that's the first step. Second step is to do it, of course. You can have amazing plans, but you need to execute them. You need to do them. So we are still busy with looking at all the departments, what we can make better and do better. And then to make the right conclusions first, and then secondly, to do the right things towards next season to make things better.
Do you think, given the conversations you've had, you can do all the things you think are necessary in time to have them up and running for the new campaign, or are these a longer
That's
term?
always the thing. You can say things, but you need to do things. You need to see things. So always the promises or plans are not enough. It's about how you execute them, what you do with that. So we're gonna see that the next weeks, the next months. But I'm really convinced about that the will is there in the club. That was for me also the point to come here. That I felt that the people in the club wanted to make steps. They wanted to work hard. They were also honest in many ways about what was going wrong with the club 6 months ago. So that was also important to have this honesty. This honesty is there also now. And I feel that everybody's really engaged to make things better. So that's the other thing. I know there are emotions now, and it's normal. When you don't get your goal, and goal is always to become champion. But it's also important to take the right conclusion. So it's not that in the last 6 months nothing happened here. So there are already steps made, but we're all very ambitious, and me in the first place, to make things a lot better.
Philippe, will you look to do your transfer business quite early in the window?
I think every manager wants everybody in tomorrow. No, maybe not tomorrow. Let's say in 4 weeks, the first day of training. Yeah, we want that. I know all recruitment department are working day and night towards that, but those are things you can have ideas about, but it's never the reality, because it's not only about you. It's about other clubs, making deals with them, making deals with other players. So you can try that. We need it also to be fast ready, because you're gonna go in a pre-season that needs to be hard, because like I said, the foundations of the house, of this physically of the dressing room, are not good enough to play at high intensity 3 games a week. That's one of the reasons of so many injuries. That's clear. That's an easy conclusion. So these players and players coming in, they need a really good preparation. Also new players coming in to get automatized with all the way of playing, to learn the principles. And we have a month of August with 9 games, with 2 qualifying rounds for Champions League and 5 competition games. So that's directly a really, really tough start. I've did it before with Bruges. We had at that moment a core of the group, and you could implement a few extra factors to make things better. I think here we need a bigger rebuild also. So that's even more challenging than it was before, to have then directly also all the results that everybody's expecting.
Feeling some people may be surprised that the players, or you don't believe the players had the conditioning to play so many games. I mean, how far off the level you're looking for were they, or are they?
Doesn't matter. doesn't matter how far, and it's difficult because it's individual cases. There are also players who played almost everything, so it's all individual cases. But it's clear if you have every month 9, 10, 11 players out and it's changing. Some are playing then and then the other one falls out because the other one who came back, he needs to play then too much because the other one is not available. You are in a vicious circle. And we need to break this circle to make the players more robust, to make them more strong, to make the squad more strong, to get profiles in also who are more strong. And like this, to have a team where you can compete all the time. And if you have so many players out, it's for any team in the world, it's a problem. So this is a vicious circle that's been going on already for a few years. It was not the first season that happened with so many injuries. So it's now time to make the right conclusions and to break that.
Right, thanks for that, Mr. Fox. You back with us, gentlemen?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. If you've got the trivia question, lads.
I was too scared to not concentrate listening to the manager.
All right. That's the polite way of saying he's not got a clue, AK. So it's over to you, the brains in the operation.
If you're relying on me for brains, we're knackered.
Well, it was a famous event in Scottish football history. That was the last time Southside got a Super Six up.
Is that right? Good you. Rack my brains here. Do you think have we lost the opening fixture before? I need a holiday. In fact, that was the last time you were on holiday, Ox. No.
Aye. Right. Anyway, we'll see how it goes this weekend. But aye, a big event. Right, Clement, obviously the big talking point about that is, I don't know who you took it. He's basically told us if players weren't fit enough. You can dress it up any way you want. I think that's what he said. Giant.
Players weren't fit enough. The obvious one, which he's been saying since the start, isn't he? And he's reiterating it now. That's been obvious. He's always said that. But also what I thought was quite damning on the word, he doesn't feel like he's got a core of players that he can build with, does he? Which is good because I don't think anyone believes it. But it's the first time I've really hear him say it.
Maybe a week early, AK, but I get it. He's maybe been honest, but the fitness thing, I think that's damning.
Yeah.
If you accept it, mate.
The stats that you read out last night, Ox, for Rangers Review were pretty damning and back up where he's coming from. So obviously he's very analytical logistics put in front of him today, and he's no surprised with the bodies who he's missing, because he can see for himself and his medical team and everything. And he's basically been juggling all season, and the medical team are telling him who's going to be fit, how many minutes they can play, and he's got to two players for one position in numerous positions out of the park, and you can't pick your team that way and expect them to, relay your thoughts and how the game should get set up and the formation and tactics and everything that goes. You can't run a team that way and expect to be successful. It's impossible.
Right, okay. That was the main point out of that. I took JM. I think we'll hear maybe the second part. He elaborates a bit more, and then we can maybe get our heads together and see how we're going to discuss it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
AK. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear the second part for our gaffer.
Of those 11 who were missing for the midweek game, how many are back and how many have a chance of making the cup final?
Those are two questions, and let's first focus on the first question. And the cup final is a week ahead, so I've learned here more than in other places not to look so much ahead. So let's start with today. So Sima will be back in the selection to play some minutes, but very little, but it's his first step again after his injury. And Ryan Jack the same, so he can also be selected for a few minutes. And then Liam Balogun is still a question mark. We will see tomorrow how he is, but he's also close of coming back into the squad. But that's after just a few trainings. So my principles, I had to also throw away some principles in this situation. Before, players had to train at least 1 week with me or 10 days before they were selectable. I cannot follow these rules this last couple of months.
Is that the first time you've done that? Change your principles in terms of training before
I
playing?
didn't have a choice because otherwise we wouldn't have a selection to play the games.
Philippe, what will you change? You were mentioning a change of structure and a change of plans across recruitment, but what will you change going into next season?
And what do you mean with me?
In terms of just day to day and the changes that you would like to implement?
No, there are several things I want to change, but we're in talks about that in the club. I think for the moment I'm doing too much in different, so it needs to be better delegated in the club.
Is that a bigger job or a bigger overhaul than you expected it to be when you first walked through the door?
Yes.
How much has that surprised you over the last few months, just some of the things you've seen?
Some things not, because the club has been honest about a lot of things, but the injury issue has been bigger than I expected. Yeah.
Is that something that can only be solved with new players, or can you solve those problems with the players that are here? Can they get to the levels that you want them to be at?
It will be a combination of the two, I think.
One of the success stories, although he has suffered from injury, has been Abdallah Sima, 16 goals I think, but we've not seen him a lot obviously in the last few months because of injury. How seriously will you be chatting to Brighton about the potential of getting him as a permanent transfer?
That's about us, him and Brighton, so we were really happy what he showed. We see in him as somebody with potential to grow. He's very happy in this building, but there is a club that is his owner, so you need to find an agreement. So we will see what's going to happen there. You cannot have, you don't know what way that will go. It depends what their demands are and what we can pay. So it's always like that.
You mentioned that during the week about tickets being available for players for a Scottish Cup final place. In many ways, is Tynecastle tomorrow a good place to go because of the boisterous atmosphere, and it almost makes players have to put in a really good performance to try and book that place?
It would be really poor if they can only perform when it's an atmosphere like that. Then they're not at the right place, I think. No, everybody has a fight to make to be in this cup final, to be at that great moment. No, not everybody now, because not everybody's training and we miss a lot of players. It's still, John Suter not training, Colson not training, Barisic not training, Lundström not training, Lawrence not training, Oscar Cortes not training, Matondo not training, and Danilo not training. So that's still a lot. All the others have a chance to fight and to show, to be there for a cup final and to show themselves. And that's interesting now to see also those things who are pushing or who are thinking about other things. So we're going to make a selection around that. But not only that, because that's now the dangerous thing for me to say, for sure, towards fans. Of course, you need to think about the cup final now. So I need to listen even more to my medical and performance staff about players who came out of the last game with some small things, that it's a risk to play with them 60 minutes or 90 minutes. So it's better to play less minutes. So I have to make a selection around that also, and a starting 11 around that, looking at those things. So I can tell you also already, So it's good to have how you say this? We say primeur in French.
Premonition or
no, like the first news about something.
Revelation.
Yeah, that Ritvan Yilmaz cannot start the game, because doing that would be a higher risk after his injury and the few minutes that he took now. So we need to build up that story. That's now one example, but we have several of those now for the moment. The last couple of weeks.
Just about Kemar Roof. Is Kemar Roof not training, or is he still in the building?
He's still in the building, yes.
Has he got a chance to play again before the end of the season?
It depends of his level, and I need to look at the future also.
See, when you mentioned changes to staffing away from recruitment, do you see them being significant changes?
There will be changes, but what is significant? So there will be changes. We need changes also. We need to. I think we're as a club at in some ways at the end of a cycle. So we need to change some things.
Thanks, guys. Dailies.
And I want then to end this cycle with a really big moment next week on Saturday. So the end.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Wow. I should have got my Adidas World Cup looked at by the sounds of things. AK.
He's beginning to speak a wee bit of the truth there now, isn't he? He's been hiding a lot. He's been firefighting a lot, obviously behind the scenes, but he can't come out and say that obviously during the season when we've still got something to play for, something very important to play for. But it looks as if he's been doing a lot of firefighting there with getting players on the park. He's got to listen to his medical team. Some players, are they really injured? Are they professional about what they want to be out there for? Question marks there, isn't they? And he's got to change a lot of philosophy as well as intricate parts in his structure within the club to benefit the football team. But very, very enlightening, shall we say.
Aye. Me surprised, J.M.?
Maybe slightly at the timing in regards to the chat, but not surprised. It sounds like he's ripping up and starting again, and it's needed, doesn't he? And everything he says seems to make sense, and it seems like something that's needed, doesn't it? I'm not surprised at what he's saying. Maybe just slightly at the time, but he's ripping it all up, and we're starting again, aren't we?
You'd be surprised at the amount of players that haven't been training by the sounds yet.
No, well, because they're not fit, are they? They're not there, are they?
Aye.
It's not a surprise because they're not in the squad, are they? It's not. That's no secret, is he? To be honest, he done really well at the start, and then what he was saying in the first part of the interview sort of made sense in regards to we've not had the chance to ease players back in. I mean, I just remember when he came in. Did Ryan Jack play 6 games in a row? Something like that? It was a lot, wasn't it, for Ryan Jack? It was a lot, and he had just came back. And then, obviously, if we had more players fit, and this is all hindsight, I know he hasn't got the best record, but he might have been eased in and we might have had him for the season. You don't know, do you? But I think that's what he was getting at. He's having to put players in and they were being rushed back. So it's been a mess, hasn't it? It's been a mess.
Is it just down to bad luck? AK? Or you in the Albert camp where there's somebody not doing their job correctly and I'm being polite?
No, I'm more in the Albert camp. I'm suspicious of a lot of things. It's because it's been happening for too long. It happened under Gerrard, it happened under Gio, happened under Beale, and now it's continuing to happen under. I don't know whether it's the same people that are involved there or no, or whether we've refreshed that or no. But it's obvious there's something not right. And to be fair, I think a lot of your guys have kind of picked it over with certain stats, the minutes availability, minutes on the park. The Ryan Jack is what JM mentioned. He was fine until he went away with Scotland. And then every time he come back with Scotland, he comes back with an injury and we don't see him for months. Roof, Comes back here, I think he played a game quarter an hour. We never seen him for months, you know. And the only one I would say out of all of them that has genuinely been really unlucky is Danilo. The facial injury he had up at Perth was a badging. Obviously, we've got to look after that any day with the head. You've got to be careful. But then to have was it his ACL injury at Tynecastle shortly after that, he's been really unlucky with injuries this year. But Dill, we take him away to Spain and he turns his ankle in the pre-season of the trip in January, and we don't see him for months. You know, it's just there've been far too many of them, and that's reflected on the inconsistency of performances and results. JM, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I think
we just ran out of steam by the sounds of it. Yeah.
Well, I didn't. You've half of that we didn't hear. I think you're doing a bit.
So we when you look to the two things colliding, the injuries and the games, it looks as if we just ran out of steam. Has that been fair?
Yeah, I think so. He couldn't keep doing it. Maybe a combination of a new manager bounce, people believe in it, and maybe a few more available. Then, like you say, Seema starts getting injured. He was showing up every week, and he got a bad knock, came back, couldn't get him fit. Matonda, we just kept running out of players, didn't we? Kept running out of players, and he's had a bit of luck, and he can't keep doing it. And then you're expecting players that haven't played in weeks to come in and suddenly do it. And even though it seems easy to us standing watching them, every manager tells you people need time to get back in, and you need match minutes apparently. So, yeah, ran out of steam. But I think going back, just answering the question you asked,
can you see that? Can you see that again? Then you need match minutes to play in the first team. Is that what you said?
Unless you're Connor Goldson, I think.
There you go.
Yeah, unless you're Connor Goldson, I think. But going back to AK's the question you asked AK in regards to is it bad luck or is it our fault or our problem? I think the manager's made it very clear that there's been a lot of people not doing their jobs right, isn't there?
He also intimated that he's been having to do too much by the sounds of AK, yeah?
Aye. Well, as I say, the analytical stuff that he's been getting handed with the medical team, he's not been able to pick the team and the players that he wanted to, because he's getting told, well, you could play Seema there, but he's only fit for 60 minutes before he goes into his red zone, and then you risk him. So then he's got to bring on, like say, McCausland or Wright. He's got to play Dessers all the time because he didn't have the availability of Roof. And obviously Danilo's injured. We brought in Cortez, who did really well for the few games that he played, but then goes down to Kilmarnock, gets a bad injury. We lose the balance of the left-hand side. We lose Diamondi, we lose Ridvan, we lose Raskin. It's just been one after the other, and it's far too much players. So there's obviously an underlying issue there that he needs to get to the bottom to.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a question, but I'll accept the answer.
Too much Alex Salmond last night.
Too much Alex Scotch pie. That's a different thing, isn't it? No salmon. JM. The other thing I picked up was obviously Ridvan coming back. I guess he can't play games so close together already, and that's how he'll be protected, yeah. I get that, I understand that. The games
at the end of the day, this is a friendly on Saturday, isn't it? And if it's any risk, he's doing the right thing. With him coming back, maybe on Tuesday night, they were actually going to take him off and gave him an extra 10 minutes, didn't they? Because he looked a bit lively. So maybe that to the medical staff maybe was stretching him a little bit much, and they're just saying, look, he might get 20 minutes on Saturday, but if he's fit and he knows he'll be fit next week if he's not playing, I don't see the point in even playing him, to be honest. I don't know about you guys, but it's a bounce game. We want to win every game, but if you've only got one left back, it makes no sense to me him even putting on a kit to me.
I get it. You're the same, AK.
Aye, pretty much so. If there's any sort of doubt there where you play him, and it's again he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place, because we Ridvan does need minutes to get up to match speed, Raskin as well. But are they worth the risk if they're going to rule them out for the cup final next week? I would say no. So again, he's getting dictated to by the medical team who's available and who isn't available. It's a nightmare for him.
Aye. That'd be interesting, right? Come and join us, 0141 356 1972. Give us your thoughts on what the manager said. Are you surprised? Are you annoyed? You know, there'll be a mixture of all these emotions for the support, Giant.
Yeah, 100%. I think nothing to do directly with this manager or the results obviously annoyed, but the injuries aren't a surprise, are they? I think the annoyance is there, and the fact is that there is obviously something like institutionally wrong, because this new manager hasn't been able to change it, has he? It's not like players haven't been turning up for Beale, or, you know, at first I was maybe thinking, you know, players aren't rushing back because they fell out of Beale. These players haven't been fit all season, a lot of them. Or if you look at Ruth and Ryan Jack, they've not been fit for three managers. So there's something not right, and there's something that desperately needs to change, and thankfully it sounds like he's ready to do so.
Yeah, because obviously it affects the recruitment, AK. Because if you've got all these players sitting taking wages at your club and you're getting no return, you've not got the same money to spend on other players that you want, because that money's gone out the door. They're up in smoke.
Aye, pretty much so. And listen, players are no stupid as well. They'll look at a potential move to Rangers, and they might even see you know, the amount of players that have been missing and stuff. I mean, that might be a beneficiary to other ones, whatever stage of their career is at. But if they feel they're not going to get looked after medically, then they might, you know, look elsewhere, or that might be a choice for them. But even when Clement came in, he couldn't believe that we spent millions of pounds on certain machinery in that the training centre, that cryo chamber thing, just sitting there unused for months, years at a time. We spent, I don't know how much one of them would cost, but if it's to help your recovery period, why are we not using that? And, you know, questions are going to be asked, and that's obviously the manager is asking the medical team, what are you doing in here? Surely he should be telling or encouraging the players to keep using them, to eat right. You know, all these sort of different things. Their own fitness procedures are different. Ryan Jack will have a different one. Ruth will have a different one. This just ahead. His brain must be fried by the end of the season.
I'm going to test you here. I'm going to have a wee competition with the two years. Yeah,
go on.
I've just come up with it, right? I know you like a quiz, AK.
Pass.
Correct. Just a wee bit. I have a guess. It's no trick catches it. How many fit players do you think he's used since he came in the door? 41 games, Philip, come up. How many games? How many players do you think he's used? Starts and subs. I have a guess.
Let me think. I'm gonna go with.
Come on, an educated guess. Come on.
Right. 21.
Got it right, Swan, and I'm you're right.
21.
21.
I'll go higher.
Higher.
I'll go higher. Up into the 30s.
You're right, mate. 31.
Oh, Jesus.
Right. Do you want me to list them? Or do you just want to have a go?
No. Give us them.
Right, okay, I'll do it for the top 41. Right, done, yeah. 41, James Tavernier. 40, Jack Butland. 39, John Lundstrom. 37, Cyril Dessers. This is including substitutes appearances. 35, Ross McCausland. Surprised. 34, Todd Cantwell. 33, Conor Golson. 30, John Suter. Tom Lawrence in fourth and 28. Dujon Sterling 27. Ridvan 27. Scott Wright 26. Fabio Silva 23. Sima 23. Bonner 22. Matondo 21. Raskin 18. Diamondi 17. Balogun 16. Sam Lammers 15. Here we go. Kemar Roof 14. Ryan Jack 11. Danilo 11. Ben Davis 9. Kieran Dowell 9. Cervantes 8. Cortez 7. Leon King 5. Cole McKinnon 3. Robbie Fraser 1. And Robbie McClory 1. Right, that's substitute appearances. Starts, yeah. You get his starts, guys like Matondo 7, Ryan Jack 6, Danilo 6, Cervantes 4, Cortez 4, Dowell 4, Kemar Roof 2, Sam Lammers 9, Rico Raskin 9, Tom Lawrence 14, even Dujon Sterling 14 starts. Leon Balogun 15. This is out of 41. Silva 16. Ridvan 18. And even Bonner 19. The rest are in the 20s. Yeah. And there's some amount of money getting out the door. AK.
That's incredible stats, Paul. I'm lost for words, really. But you can definitely feel the frustration of the manager when you're looking at stats like that. And I believe our club wage bill is 64 million. I'm not sure what the players are getting paid, but we're certainly, for what we're paying them, we're not getting a good return off them through availability or trophy success. That can't be denied. As JM said earlier, it's a rip it up and start again. But unfortunately, contracts, that's another sticky issue. I don't know if you've seen them, but I had a wee look earlier there, Ox. I believe we've got 17 players that are contracted to at least two.
All right, we'll come to that, mate. We'll come to that. Just, yep, calm down, mate. We've got 2 hours to kill here. Yeah, I know you like to be premature. It's often happens to you quite a bit.
That's scandal, you.
It's fact. JM, it's frightening, isn't it?
Yeah, it's frightening, as AK said. It's the in any business, whatever, it's the value for money of what you're paying some of these. And the scary thing is, as you get lower down that list, apart from obviously your captain Butler and goals in the lunchroom, once you get further down, it's not youth players or that. It's some of your higher earners down there. Your Roofs and that, players that have been made big money for a long time, took a lot of money out of the club and had nothing from them, have we? All right, Roof scored a goal worth a few million quid this season. I'll give him that. But if you're being realistic and honest about it, you're not getting the return out of him or many others. And it needs to stop.
Well, even a guy that I've championed on here, if you're honest, AK, 14 starts, big Sterling. Ain't a lot under Clement out of 41 games.
No, it is not. And by the way, you've got to remember as well, he didn't get any. I don't think he started at all under Beale. It was Clement that introduced him to the team, and we kind of stumbled across him. But that's a guy who could be considered very unlucky, and no about injury wise, but he's had no chance to be consistent in a position within the team. Because if you said earlier, he's played left back, he's played right back, right midfield, left forward, inside left. He's played everywhere, centre half there at Celtic Park and all. Feel sorry for the boy. He's trying to cement himself into our club, and it's one thing after another, but it leads to inconsistency in performances and results, and obviously team selections reflect that.
He started 2 games under Beale, mate. 2 games, but we're just looking at the Clement era. It's frightening. Yeah. I mean, there's other ones there. I'll just go back to it. It is frightening. These are just starts, so we can forget about Robbie McCrory and Leon King, right? Because they've sat on that bench. These are guys that are getting good money at the club. Kemar Roof, 2. Dowell, 4. Cortez, 4. Cervantes, 4. Yeah. Danilo, 6. Ryan Jack, 6. Robbie Matondo, 7. Ben Davis 7, Scott Wright 8, Nicola Laskin 9, and Sam Lammers 9, all under on single figures, JM. And if you take that and the wage bill for just them alone, mate, it's frightening with no return.
100%. You think some of them being new signings, Cifuentes won't be cheap, or that coming over. Matondo, Roof's a big earner. Matondo's one of the bigger earners, and you combine that in the weekly wage bill, and you're not getting to double figures of starts. It's unbelievable, and it's not just one bad year either. This has been going on for 2-3 years.
Yeah, Ben Davis and Brian Jack and Matondo, they're Kemar Roof. It's frightening. Right, AK, your point about contracts, mate?
No, I was just picking up through what earlier you said. A wee look at thing earlier. 17 players are contracted to the club beyond 2026, 2027, 2028. So we're stuck with the players. Is basically, unless we can move them on. But as you said many a time, it's no easy to do that. But basically, going back to the first point as well. We've been playing Butland, Tavernier, Golson, Lundstrom and Dessers. That's what 5-6 players. Basically, majority of the game. So 5 players we've been continuing to kind of refresh the team. See, with that amount of players that's unavailable for him or refreshing the team, he's not going to get consistency because it tells you, doesn't it? It tells you.
It's mental. It's been interesting, and and I don't know. I can't. You couldn't ever go to say Danilo, could you? You can't ever go to him. And bizarrely, the support or the piece, they're quite right, like Kemar Roof, but we know that value for money has been atrocious. JM.
Yeah, 100%. AK touched on it, didn't he? It was a real bad sore one away. Was it Ross County or St Johnstone? I can't remember. A real bad one in the side of the cheek. St Johnstone, a real bad one in the side of the cheek. And then obviously the ACL, that can happen. You see, everyone can see when that happened as well in the game, and that's a bad injury. That's not somebody picking up knocks or supposed to be back in a week, and he takes nearly a month. We've had a lot of that. And then, Roof, we all know how good he is. He scored goal for us. He always looks, once he gets sharp, he looks good. You know what you're going to get, but just not worked, has it, unfortunately? It's just not worked. But unfortunately, we've had more of these players that, even going back to Jordan Rossiter, back when Gerrard came in there, he's a week away. You don't see him for 6 months. It's been happening for years.
John Eustace, he's playing tomorrow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? These players that are meant to be, they've always been a week away. And then what happens is I'm convinced Ryan Jack, I'm convinced they've told the press to stop asking about him during the season. He just disappeared.
My.
You're not even getting updates on him because he's that far away or not in the conversation.
I know. What a conversation. I think it's maybe the worst I've ever known, AK. Yeah.
Aye, there's no doubt about it. If we're all wondering where it went wrong and why it went wrong, I think that's pretty clear in the answers that he's gaining today. But a big shooter, I would say, has been a bonus for him because at the start of the season, there was a few who's got to question his availability going on the previous year. I'm not sure his stats this year, but I believe he's played over 30 games, so that's been a bonus for him. But the rest of the team, not good enough. And in important areas, that forward line, we've got to punish teams, and you've got to have a consistent selection there available for you. If you've not got that, then it's going to be pretty difficult. Ox, JM.
I think he's doing a bridge man again.
Yeah, I was John. I was giving you the stats on John Suter there. John Suter started 27 out of 41 under Philip. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's been pretty, and also like you're allowed. The problem is like that, as the people say, he's had knocks and that, but teams are allowed to pick up knocks obviously during the season, aren't they? But the problem is we're not just picking up knocks. We've got players disappearing after they take a knock. You should be allowed to like pick up knocks, and especially at a centre half somewhere where you're putting yourself about and tackling. You're gonna maybe pick up where you're gonna have to have a week off with a swollen ankle or something. But we're having players disappearing.
Yeah, I think that's the frustration, isn't it? And then they come back, they're on the bench, and then they're out for 3 weeks. Yeah, and it ends up they're out for 6 in total, okay?
Aye. See, to be honest with you though, Ox, I know we're kind of delving a bit into it, but it comes down to the recruitment, doesn't it? It comes down to the due diligence on the players. Hollander was missing for a fair bit, if I remember right, before he came for Italy. I think Roof has always had that issue with him. Anything anybody else offhand, but we always seem to go down that sort of market. I think Cantwell had a serious kind of knee injury before he came. I think Dowell maybe. I'm not sure where Lawrence was the same, but we're into that market where it's an unpredictable market, and we're getting the players at these sort of cheaper prices because, you know, players have a history of that. So if you're going to go into the markets, you can't be giving them long-term contracts at a kind of higher rate market as well. You know, I don't know if it used to be a pay for play sort of thing introduced. I don't know whether that's been made illegal now or what, but it just seems to be top heavy now with the players dictating to the club about what sort of contract that they're on now. So, but it's, you know, it's just that market is very, very insecure.
Just looking at
when you go,
Haaland there, for example, could you say it to him? He only made 36 appearances for us between 2019 and 2023 for his new club now. OB, who's OB? Who are OB? Who's he gone to?
Odense.
So in the 2023, in this season 2023, which still isn't a lot of games by the way, but he's made 18 appearances, so more than half in one season than he made in 3 to 4 seasons with us. So it just shows you that.
Yeah.
And Tom Lawrence.
Maybe the learning curve is you've got to have the cojones to walk away from a deal with it.
Yeah, maybe just bite the bullet. And then Tom Lawrence never missed a game at Derby, as far as I'm aware.
Maybe he's never recovered for that. Imagine he got AK Tom Lawrence, because he looks sometimes as if he's, you know, we all know he's got ability, he can strike a ball. We've seen it, we've witnessed some of his touches and that. But he just looks as if he can't get about the park. Maybe that bad injury, he's just not recovered.
Aye, but by the way, maybe it's some of the parts that he's playing on, your Kilmarnock, your Livingston, your Ackies when they were in the league. You know, they plastic surfaces, they do a lot to the joints, the ankle joints, the knee joints. That it's maybe that. It's maybe our training. Don't know. We don't know. It's a head scratcher. That's for certain.
Aye. Well, it's going to be hard when I ask you to name a team for tomorrow. That's going to be a puzzle and a half, isn't
it? I know half.
I just can't put my finger on it, and I think I'm as frustrated as I've ever been with injuries. It's used to think, oh well, he's at the team. Mr. A comes, A goes out, B comes in. You can't get that now, Jayama.
No. It's a case of who can we actually get on the pitch that's going to give the team some balance. We've not got many, have we? You know, for a team, for the league we're in, let's be honest, the budget we've got, we shouldn't be having these problems, should we? We're having problems that your Livingstons and that should be having with respect because of the budgets. We shouldn't be having these problems in comparison. We're like you say, we're getting to the stage where you're getting a game if you're fit enough to play.
Oh, man. By the way, there was good news that Sealer's back, yeah? He shows an attitude that I like. You know, he won me over at first. I was like, but we had him on there. He scored the goal against PSV. And he was awful that night. We scored a wonder goal, and then slowly the boy just got in his stride. I think he's somebody that comes across having a great attitude, and we'll miss him, AK.
Yeah, 100%. He was, as you say there, he took his time. He took his time in finding his feet. And that goal against PSV was a belter. He had a brilliant performance away in Prague, running down that left channel there, both defensive duties and offensively. And then he started scoring and creating. Scored a cracking goal at Tynecastle the same night. Danilo, taking the bad injury, coming up with important goals. You know, he was a wee bit like a Rebo, so to speak, for like the defensive duties and corner kicks. He'd an aerial kind of threat to him. I was very disappointed. I was another one away to the AFCON Nations and then gets injured there, and we don't see him for 2-3 months, and that's been a huge blow for Clement as well.
I think the other blow was when he brought him back. He just wasn't quite fit, you know, and we've actually not had him since January, if we're honest, Giant.
Yeah, no, we were hoping for, weren't we? And maybe Clement, we got a bit carried away because we were desperate for him back, weren't we? He was kind of a missing piece because we knew how good he was, and maybe that's why he was rushed slightly. But you never know because you don't see behind the scenes. But you genuinely believe if that guy is fit enough to be playing, he'll be playing because he looks to have a tremendous attitude. For me, the performance was the cup final. The way he ran in that League Cup final, it was incredible to watch.
Aye. What was the game? I mean, in Europe.
I think I said it when he played left fullback.
Prague.
Yeah,
but in Prague.
Yeah, I think it was the away game when it ended up playing left wing back, up and down.
It was up and down, he's been unlucky as well, you know. AFCON, as you say, AK, you know. Anyway, we're going to have to move after this injuries, you know. My hamstring's getting a bit tight just talking about it, AK, you know.
I'm pulling a hernia here.
I'm glad you said hernia.
No, family short.
You know, I thought you were going to say caravan.
No, that's Lundstrom that's still in that.
I see. Just going back to him. He mentioned he's not been training near Giant.
Sorry, who was that? You said he's not been training.
John Lundstrom.
Yeah, Lundstrom. Yeah, you wonder what. There's no talk of a not, was there? But always get the impression he's came out before. You always wonder if he's constantly nursing something. And he's came out and spoke on other channels to say he's always carrying injuries. So you don't know if he's looking for sympathy or not, or maybe he's not training for other reasons. Because I don't know if I played with him, if I'd be speaking to him yet. Yeah. To be honest, I've got to be honest. I would like to think there would have been a falling out because the bloke was a disgrace.
I actually think he's got off light, and I think he's got off light on the show this week, AK, if I'm honest. I really do. I thought he'd get more flack.
Aye. Listen, indefensible what he did. That's you can't do that. Just in the game and then put in a challenge like that. It's no you used to put in a challenge like that to get a cheer out your own support. There was nobody there to give him a cheer, but they were certainly giving him a cheer when the red card went up and he was down the tunnel. Unforgivable. If he doesn't wear a shirt for us again, then that'll be too soon for a lot of people. So I don't think you'll see Lundstrom again. I certainly wouldn't play him in the cup final. No for that. That's unforgivable.
Well, it's maybe trust in it. It's trust. Yeah. You know what it's like. You go with a lead and he keeps going too short, mate. You've no trust, have you?
Very true.
He's another one. I know we've got a few, but a shocking record in the games. I know we've not overall got a good record, but he's never had a good game in these matches, has he? If we're being honest.
No, semi-final a couple of years back, in the game at Ibrox when we were winning, and he went off. He was arguably man in the match, and he went off, and then they got the equaliser near enough the last kick of the ball. Beale's game. I can't remember when it was, but under Beale.
2-2 at Ibrox.
Aye. He got a reasonable game that day, if I'm being fair. But you're right, he's not exactly setting the header on fire or controlled many of
It's for a professional footballer with VAR now. I know we all talk about it, and you get pumped before the game, and you say stick one on them, but they know they can't do it now, so that makes it worse. It's professional sport, isn't it? And you know if you do that, you're getting sent off. It doesn't matter if the ref sees it.
Just talking about VAR, did you see before we go to the tune? Did you see the Anthony Gordon one?
Yeah, I know. It was a stinker, wasn't it? They reckon they didn't even check it because they were too busy watching the other bloke and forgot to look at the guy that tripped him.
Forgot to look at.
Because they were watching, I think someone else took the ball. I think it might have been Casemiro, one of the centre halves took the ball. And what they're saying is they believe that VAR didn't check the bloke behind who tripped him because they were too busy worrying if Casemiro took the ball.
They must be watched in a 6-inch portable, yeah.
Aye, it was a shocker. His interview after it, he was pretty honest about it. He showed you the tear in the back of his Achilles. You know, he couldn't believe that he didn't get a penalty kick for it. But that's a stupid decision for VAR. Brilliant tackle for Casemiro, but the boy took a bad injury there, and it should have been a penalty. So aye, David a wee bit of discussions with VAR this week, but.
They're having a vote on VAR, aren't they, the Premier League?
Aye. All right. Listen, we'll move on. But get yourselves in mute, boys, because we're going to have a tune.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, give us a call 0141 356 1972. Right, okay. Again, tomorrow, I think we've dissected the injuries enough. We'll get about 3 fit players. It's going to be interesting. There could be some youth players yet again. B-team players, if we want to call them that. JM?
Yeah, a chance to, 2 years later on, same situation, maybe a chance for some youngsters to impress from Tynecastle. I mean, not many of them are still there from the lot. Well, they might still be there, but they've not had much chance since that game at Tynecastle before we went away to Seville, have they? So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I think if it is a case, just play as many of them as you need to make sure we can try and get a fully fit squad for the next weekend, in my opinion, anyways.
It's going to be real interesting, and who's going to start, Would you start Butland? Would you start McCrory? The luck we've got, Jack would run into a post tomorrow and boot for the cup final. AK.
Aye, I know. It's JM says there it's similar circumstances, but it's very different what's in front of us. Because we were kind of resting players there with the European final was still to play, but now we've got players that's actually want to burst into the make the impression to get the Scottish Cup final. So it's again, it's another quandary for the manager, and it's one he'll probably not be looking forward to be honest with you.
No, because we'll expect terrible. We always demand, if we don't win, there'll be a post-mortem, we'll be doing the dumps. That's the kind of support we are, AK. But if you look at the circumstances, maybe JM says it's a friendly, he might be right.
Aye, well, Hearts are secured. They're finishing third, and obviously the league's gone for us. So, but it's important that the team that we do pick, we've still got to go out there and look to win the game, because that's what our club's all about. But a nightmare scenario is one of another important player. Do you risk him? It's no one that he could probably be doing without it, to be honest with you, and just look for a week preparation for the cup final next week.
Aye. It's a big puzzle, as he says, JM.
Yeah, it is, because like I say, he's also got a balance, because I think ideally probably like there's certain players he may like to get, say, an hour, for example, however you want to play. He's trying to get players. It's weird, at the end of the season, you're still trying to get players fit, ready to play. He might be putting Ryan Jack in to try and get, because he thinks he might have a part to play. Seema, probably, it sounds like he wants to get him maybe half an hour, and he might say, well, if I can get him half an hour, he might be able to start. But if you also start them, they might not be fit to play next week. So it's one big puzzle, and I wouldn't want to do it either.
Well, what you know and what you think, put the team out tomorrow. Who's playing? Who's not playing? Give us your team.
All right. So I would be going with McCrory in goal. Tavernier is always present, isn't he? I think Leon, King, and Davies through default by the signs of it. I think Leon's ready, but not quite ready. Robbie Fraser at left back. I think he'll come. I think the manager's given that one away. I don't think you get any points for that, do you? He says, I think he'll be on at left back. And then in the midfield, it gets difficult, doesn't it? It gets difficult. Because you don't want there's certain players, like for example Diamande, who's probably an obvious starter, but if he's the only fit one, you don't want to risk him getting hurt either, do you?
Chip out if you get any ideas, AK.
Go on, AK. Give me the first centre midfielder. Help me out. Give me someone who's going to go in and play.
Well, I've picked the same back line as you, JM. So well done for that. The two have agreed on that.
We know that's going to be wrong then, don't we? That's not what's right.
Well, with my record, you're right. I went for Raskin. He needs minutes in there, and probably look to bring on Jack maybe about half an hour to go. But I went Raskin and McKinnon, and McCausland, Cantwell, Silva, and Dessers.
All right, okay. Right, I'll go with that. That's all right. Right, why not?
Yeah.
How do you ask the question the other night? How you used to see Diamande, JM, then AK?
I've got to be completely honest. I said this to my mate during the week, and it might be, and it sounded, but I've been saying it consistently, like when my pals out are talking. Apart from swinging a boot twice in his first couple of games, I think if you break it down, can you argue he's done any more this when tested in his 6 to 8 games? Not being honest. Being honest.
Oh, that's not good. That's not a good indictment, AK.
That's harsh, JM. No,
is it? No, but seriously, is it? Is it though? Apart from a young, you're forgetting a professional football player is showing a nice few touches enough now. Is that the bar we're setting? If we're being honest.
Aye, I know what you're saying, but listen, there's a lot saying that Dessers is the next great white hope. If we're pinning our hopes on Dessers, and that's the bar.
I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore.
Well. But Diamondi, I think it's been difficult for him to come into a team that's obviously changing from game to game. It's lacked confidence here for the last few weeks. We've been under pressure. And I think the games that I seen him play with Northland, he seemed to be like out in the left midfield, and he'd some injury on him. Honestly, he was up and down that left wing. They're no bother. I just think the position that he's been asked to play is different, and I think does Northland, do they Norway? Denmark, the Scandinavian leagues I think start earlier than the rest of Europe, so I think the boy's been playing for maybe like June, July, which has maybe had an effect on his fitness as well.
Yeah, he's hardly missed, has he? And I was going to say the one thing I will say is I think where he's playing, and I think it looks quite obvious, and that's just, it's not his position. To be fair to him, I don't think he suits being deeper because he is a nice footballer. Sometimes I think where the way he tries to play, you can get caught in really important parts of the pitch. And I think he has done a few times. Whereas I think his sort of style needs to be further up the pitch. But obviously, maybe with injuries and that, it's not been able to happen.
Interesting. Keep your thoughts. Yeah, phone in 0141 356 1972. What camp you in? Are you Camp AK or Camp JM? Listen, I'm not judging the boy. We've not seen enough of him. He's got to settle. New country, new teammates. He's obviously had an injury as well. His thumb, that sums up it. A thumb injury, but I also think he's been a bit unlucky with the system, JN, because he's been exposed.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's not his thing playing deeper, where he's obviously an attacking player. And again, a young player who's came in, young flair, that and whatever. And as the manager's clearly said, he's not came into a team of any backbone or spine, has he, a core, and been allowed to flourish. These sort of players need a good core to the team so he can go and do his stuff. He's not had that. He's clearly got talent. He's got legs. As AK said, he's maybe played a lot of football. He's hardly missed when he's been playing with us, centre midfield, not being taken off a lot. So, you do a lot of running. It could be a bit harsh, but I'm just in regards to what you're looking for and what you're trying to judge a midfielder to produce numbers and different things. He scored 2 goals with a swing of the leg, and then if you're being honest with the rest, he's not produced the numbers you would like from a midfield player.
All right, okay. I'll give you that. Okay, I'll be interested to see how it pans out. He gets arrested in a pre-season, And you say that he could be playing in that sort of silver role. Is that what you're saying?
Well, for the games that I've seen him play, I think Northland played like a 3-4-3, so he was kind of wide left. But as I say, they had some injury on him, to get up and support the front line, to be not really a ball winner, but to carry the ball for defence into attack. And he's playing, it's a totally alien role for him that he's playing there now, and that you've picked up on it for months now. To be fair to you, he's getting left exposed in that middle part of the cell because Lundstrom keeps dropping into the defence, and then Cantwell's running to support Silva. So he's trying to, he's competing against 2-3 players at a time. He's on a no winner there. So the structure of your team is all wrong to get the best out of him. And I think Clement's got to recognise that. Aye.
I'll be interested to see how he pans out. I'm not saying he's no good talent. I'm just saying maybe the pendulum swinging more to JM's point of view, but I'll be interested to see how it pans out. I think he's one to watch. Let's see how it goes. Let's see him develop. JM.
Yeah, but in regards to, when you ask the question, it's how would you assess since he's came in? And I don't think it's fair to say you can't go either way. I'm just being in regards to you can't. The bloke's not a flop or finish or not. No, you can't say he's not good enough or anything like that. But I don't want to fall into the camp of what we all did with Raskin. They said, "Oh, he's a player we can build our team around," because we've not seen that either. To be fair, have we? But as Aki said, I don't think we've seen him probably in his best position or in a system that suits him. And also, if you're being honest, he's been playing with a lot of players around him that have been below average as well for 6 months, hasn't he? So there's a lot of things that could change before we see the best out of him.
Aye. I wonder how it'll go for the boy. I wish him all the best. He is young. I think we forget that he is really young.
And sorry, is he definitely our player, by the way? Sorry. I get confused with all these things, with all the deals we have. Is he a signed, sealed, and delivered?
He is. I think it's Cortez. We've got I've no checked to him. I think it's Cortez. We've got the try before you buy. Like AK was like his old girlfriends.
Diamondi, I think, is an obligation to buy JM. So he is our player. We've got to stump up 4.3 million, I believe. Probably pay that in instalments. But Cortez, I think we're hoping to get back on loan, I believe. Again, or come to some sort of deal. Was it Lens that he plays it in France?
Yeah, because obviously, even though he looked like Cortez looked like he had talent. I mean, you couldn't commit to a spend on him, surely, could you?
Well,
with an injury as well, obviously, like a hamstring that you don't always recover from.
If it goes right at top, people will say, "Why? Why did you sign him? Because he's injured." It's like the gamble became a bigger gamble, isn't it?
Aye. It looks bad because we're no learning our lessons, so to speak. But do you think there's an avenue for Hadji to come back, guys? Your favourite player, Ox?
I don't think he's exactly set the header on fire, but I think we could, if a deal could be done for Hadji, I think we would take it. What do you think, Jaya?
I think we would, because maybe I think for a bloke that looked like he obviously loved the club, like, he's been sort of pushed aside by, I know, different management setups or whatever, but again, guilty of the Beale bloody era was getting rid of players that produce numbers. Hadji's numbers were again pretty superb, really, for a frustrating player. Goals and assists Hadji provided, and we need to get back to getting midfielders and attackers that get us goals and assists. If somebody told me he was going to be in our squad next season, I'd be quite happy, to be honest, in my opinion. I'm not in a rush to get him out if we can get a glimpse of the old Hadji back.
The glimpse of the old Hadji back. Well, thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. We'll speak to you soon.
I know these midfielders that score goals and get assists will never catch on. I don't think, will they?
No,
we want boys that wear a sash and run about for a bit. That'll work.
I'll have a look at his numbers and I'll dig them out. Where do you sit in the Hadji camp, AK?
I think there's still commercial value with Hadji to bring in. I don't know what we'd be looking for. What was it we paid around about 4 million? I think Alaves, he's not really appeared a lot for them. Any time I've seen him, he'll be coming on a sub the last 20 minutes. He's not really contributed either with assists or goals. I don't think he's impressed a hell of a lot, but I think maybe the Galatasaray option might become a lucrative kind of appeal for him, because obviously his connection with his family, but he's still a name out there. So if we get, I would say, 3 million back, I think that would be acceptable to get you the gaffer rather than see what he's going to give us next year as on the park, because he just didn't look the same player for the bad knee injury he had a couple of years ago.
Yeah, obviously he's not made any starts on that this year. One substitute appearance, Jaya. He's been involved in 5 seasons with the club and he's scored 16 goals.
What had you? Yeah, but what about the year before? Weren't he injured for a year as well?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
We can make stats mean, in regards to, I'm thinking off the top of my head, he was a chipping in as much as any of our attacking midfielders were now.
The year we won the league, he was involved in 46 games, 33 starts, with 8 goals, mate. I've not got his assists. So most of the time he's playing wide right, yeah?
Yeah. Could take corners with both feet and do whatever. I just think careful, and sometimes we can be thinking players that we've got now are better than what we had, and we've been guilty for it for a while. Somebody
Hadji would have been on that team, mate. He would have been in that team. If a fit Hadji, when he was before he got that injury, I say a fit Hadji with the improvement in some of the players we would play.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at when I say that. He's better. A fit Hadji in that 55 season is better than any of our attacking midfielders that are playing for us at the moment.
Aye. Be interesting to see what happens. I think he'll go, AK.
I think so too. See the only thing as well, if we do bring back Hadji and he plays that wide right role, what happens to McCausland then? You've got to stop his development. Does he have a future with us, or is he going to be another boy
if McCausland is better and playing better and gets a jersey, yeah. There's no reason for Hadji to stop his development. He's going to come in and get the jersey and keep it and score goals and make assists and play well. That's what development is. Listen, I read something today about about some of your youths and that, and Allbear keeps banging this drum, and I want to pick you two up because I know that one is heavily involved in sport, and the other one plays bowls, yeah? Right. Right, our youths and that. Just a simple question for you both. When they come in, do they look physically ready to you? The last one I saw did was Lovelace. The rest of them don't. Maybe McKinnon. These boys only 16. They're 20, and they just. If you look at the 20-year-olds that appear in the PL, they just look a different shape altogether. Giant.
They're absolutely nowhere near physically ready to play. That's quite obvious, isn't it? I mean, you think, King possibly, I don't, maybe just a bit slight, but you're sure he'll be stronger than you think, but the rest of them, all these kids we're bringing on, they're not ready to play professional football. I've got this championship playoff game on in the studio here. These boys would just be pushed off the pitch. Never mind going to play European competition for us or anything like that, or Scotland, just playing in Scotland. They don't look ready. They're not, never mind not being built in the gym. They're not tall enough either.
AK.
To answer your question, no, they don't look ready. Obviously, you're looking at the English Premier League. You're seeing a lot of boys developing there. Phil Foden, for example, he's still pretty slight, but Pep has obviously held him back. You see the boy Cole Palmer, that's been starring with Chelsea this year. You see Rooney when he broke into the Everton team, Mbappe, Jude Bellingham. These guys are physical athletes. That's going to help them in the game and stay in the game. When you get Ross McCausland coming in there and he's like 16 weight soaking through, isn't he? It's a big part of the game now. I don't know whether it's for the better, to be honest with you. You've got all these athletes. I mean, even like say Tavernier. See if you compare Tavernier's body when he came into the club 9 years ago to what he is now. It's night and day. So credit for Tav that he's developed himself that way. But the boys, I mean, Allbear's right. They guys really need gym time, proper gym time, to give themselves a chance to cement themselves in a club long term.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
The support, and you can tell with the mood on even the show. AK, the support's a bit flat. Obviously, we'll start getting them all out of the way, and then we'll start building up again, and hopefully we can get a result next Saturday. But the support's flat, and there needs to they're due a lift, mate.
Aye, it's natural. This season was a big season for us. You know, Clement, we all got behind him. He got us into a position where we could have went 5 points in front at one stage, and we didn't do it. We blew it. We blew up through different reasons, through availability of players, pressure, whatever. It's obvious that there's an underlying problem there, and he needs to fix it. So he needs to lift the players for next week. The support needs to get behind the club and the team again, which they will in their numbers as usual, showing up in the terracing. But we really need to. It's back to the drawing board, and we need to get everything right. The structure within the club, the money, as much as we can, get towards our manager. I know they've got hopes and aspirations of extending Ibrox and all the commercial stuff and that. Brilliant to earn money that way, but see the end result. It's improving the product on the park. If you win trophies on the park, the rest will follow. I'm a great believer in that, and it's about time we started breaking this monopoly, and that's what it's become. Celtic's got a monopoly in Scottish football now, and we need to break it.
JM, how do we pick the support up?
But winning next weekend, isn't it? I think winning next weekend and some radical changes where possible. Easy said and done when you're not the one writing the checks. It doesn't maybe have to be spending money, but as in to get people. But we're going to have to get players in. But maybe showing a bit of bottle and just getting rid of players that clearly don't want to be there, and showing that there's being a shake-up and not seeing more of the same. I think, like he says, the cycle's been going on too long, and supporters are flat with it because it's the same old. I think the support, a win on Saturday, obviously, big step, and then some radical changes going a couple of weeks after everyone gets back from their holidays.
Yeah, I suppose it's as simple as that. I won next Saturday. Everybody will be in a better place, but it's going to be an interesting summer. We seem to see this every year. EK.
Aye, it's repeat, and we're fed up with repeating. But time for the pastures new for a lot of the players, I think.
Aye, but I mean, obviously you get the boys that's out of contract. I don't think it'll be any of them stay. Then you're into the problems. How you get people to move? Anyway, talking about people who move, well, I've been joined by Andy Fairvin. Evening, Andy.
Evening, boys. How are you?
Oh, good
Hi,
to
Andy.
hear you, man. Good to hear you, big man.
Oh, I've been that low this week. I went in Jack Cousteau, jacked my back window with the wetsuit on the snorkel. The boys, the youngies will know who Jack Cousteau is. Me and you all know who he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes, they'll know. They'll know, mate.
They'll know.
Aye, mate. It's been so mate, self-inflicted,
Oh, aye.
mate.
Self-inflicted. It started to kill again. The first game of the season. He played goals, and he kicked the ball. That can't well. Obviously, I think there's something happened between the end of the season and the beginning of the season. Like this season. There's been a fallout somewhere with Cantwell or something, and he's made an example of him, and he's backfired on him. You know what I mean? And then the Celtic game, that was a thing, because that was the weakest Celtic team we've been faced for 2 years, I reckon, because there's a lot of players out, and that was it. They won the 2 games. I mean, right enough, Beale might be still in here. That's the only thing. But it started off badly, and it didn't get any better. But the big man came in. With hindsight, we might have taken a cup double, but to have it in our own hands 3 or 4 times, not these ones, 3 or 4 times, we can that 3 or 4 times, and we SHIT the rest every time. So they've got to be a full player out next year. They've got to be everything. I mean, everyone's got to start from scratch again. But hopefully, the way he's talking the press of the day, he's sorting everything out. The boys come in to train and the recruitment and the structure of the whole thing. But it takes a lot. We'll get Gerrard 10 3 years to get it right, and then it's all been they've ripped up and they need to start again. So that's that been all right.
Giant. AK.
Was he doing a bridge, man? No, Andy, you're right, pal. We're hurting the now, obviously, because of what we could have had. It's a wee bit like bullseye, isn't it? Take it back. We're not getting that. So it's it's reflecting what could have been, what we could have won. I think the gaffer, Clement, is mastered a lot of his feelings over the course of the season. But certainly, you look back at it, see when he's storming up the tunnel at Ross County, he knows that wasn't right, that's how raging he was. And he came back out and apologised to the guy and he shook his hand and he did everything courteous the way he should be doing. But I think he almost sees stuff that's happening now that realises why we've been through so many managers in that period of time. And if I think about it, Ox, he actually said in his pressers when he comes in, he sat down with not just the board and Souness and Bisgrove, Bennett, everybody was doing interviewing policy. He also sat down with the investors to seek assurances what his budget was, how much he was getting allowed. I don't know whether he actually realised that he wasn't getting a penny to spend in January, but obviously we know now why the reason that was, because Beale blew his budget, so I don't know what sort of budget he's got to work with in the future, whether he's happy with that, but there's going to be a hell of a lot of turnover and players coming in and going out, I would think, to get the players that he's looking for to go ahead for next season.
Aye, Andy, some of these players, how we get them out the door, that's the question for me.
That's it, aye. I'd even try and get them out on loan, they still not paying their wages for 2 years, you know what I mean? But would they go on loan? Would they sit there? That stubborn, would they sit there? I mean, get them on loan and put themselves in the window when they do the contracts up. I mean, someone doing England or something, I don't know. You can't keep... Darvin Goldstein, all right, he's a year to go. You can't keep the... There's going to be a full change. There's going to be a new regime, a new everything, because it's the same culprits. But it's like, Alec was AK said there, I think the Ross County game, that's when the big man, the pennies dropped with him. Because if he's come in, he's got a tune out him. He said a tune out him for the first 14 games or something they won. He'd a tune out him, so he'd never seen that side of him, because they were all up for it. Then they've dropped the standards again. They're Ross County. That 1-0, Swanson after park all the time, I got away with this, and then they fall asleep again, begin the second half. And 2-1 down. Then they go to 3-1, you've seen the shooters dropping, nothing. But I don't know, the big end of the D game, that was a fast day. I can't shouldn't have been angry because it's Andrews twice, but it was half. It doesn't matter, she's rise above that, we're professional football players. So, but I think the big one's being fed. I think he's got to tune out with them there. It's the same culprits. That's three managers they're doing tools for. It's the same culprits. The kind of ones who've done it. No chasing back, just sauntering back. But we'll just have to. Hopefully, we'll get the cup next week and shut him up, because they're thinking they're all beaters now. Dancing about.
I know.
Roger, I'll tell you something right now. See if Beale had debate Kelly, or we debate Kelly, and we debate Celtic at Ibrox. His shaking the sugar like peg already, because the fans don't want him. And then they've got that Lennon. They're showing barriers and everything. They were going to kill him. And he's on the park dancing about with Brendan Rodgers on Wednesday. No, I've just seen it in the feeds, you know what I mean? He brought him into the park, dancing about, and they're the best thing since Live Reed. Makes him look good. I don't mind getting beat if they were playing out their skin and they deserve to win the league. But they're no great shapes themselves. And they're that saying they're loading it up.
No, we've got a habit of shooting ourselves in the foot. You just have to look at those 5 goals to them in the last couple of weeks, yeah. Over the own goal, it's been a topper, and then the one with Tavernier, mate. There's 2.
That was a freak. I can't wait anyway. The freak goal, aye. Even the first game, even the first game at Ibrox, big shooters fell asleep. I mean, just were off time. So I will say this, I guess it's not sure it is, but we have the referee different because every decision's went for them.
Aye.
I mean, that Johnson punched the ball at the park. Right off and out, that was offside.
You've got the
So
goal.
whether it made any difference to winning the league or no, but every decision they've had, it went to them. The 4 Old Firm games.
The goal was
So
chopped up. They broke it, and then you see the penalty. I know the game was done really, but the penalty they were gained last weekend. Though.
Aye. Oh, you don't go to me. He got a chance to redeem himself, and he said, no, it's a penalty.
Aye.
That was it. It was never a penalty. He obviously gave him a chance, but that one, you got the only decision I got right was the red card Lindstrom. Oh, the one big Balogun. That was a red card too, but that was 100% red card. That's the only thing I've got right. The rest of all, anyway, we just have to try and get next week.
This will cheer you up, Andy. Let's have the South Side Super 6.
Oh, geez, oh. Yeah, money in your pockets.
Hi, welcome to Southside Super 6 for Sunday, the 19th of May. My first selection this weekend is Hibs to beat Livingston. My second selection is Motherwell to beat St Johnstone. The third selection is Nottingham Forest to beat Burnley away from home. The fourth selection is Crystal Palace to beat Aston Villa. The fifth selection is Manchester City to beat West Ham. And the sixth selection is Arsenal to beat Everton. If you take all 6, it pays 22.5 to 1.
So, AK, if you put a tenner on that, how much will you get back?
Roughly 0.
Nothing.
Jim Boone used to say on bullseye, if that comes in, I'll give you the money myself.
Oh dear. Oh, brilliant. Oh, I'll be on again this week. I'll be on again, but I suppose he's due one, isn't he?
Banker.
Banker, did you? Yeah, you're nearly right.
Well, take what you want out of that one. You decide what I called it. You decide what I called it. Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, the big man. Fair play to him. He's game, isn't he? Andy. He's made the bookies a few quid.
Oh, he's game. AK, you've got a ring quiz show. It's Family Fortunes, that was. If it's going to be by myself. Where's Dennis? Amanda Holden's ex. That's who said that. Not like right.
Does Jim Bone not say, here's what you could have won?
Aye.
I take it back.
Say your tenement. You want a speedboat. You don't even drive when you go into it. The push bike, you know what I mean? Some player. That's still. I watch that during the night. Sometimes when I'm off next shift. It's one of them daft channels. Jim Bone, Eric Bristol, I was on it. Even Jockey Wilson made an appearance one day. I know, bullseye. The spelling one's getting it. You really cruising the screen.
One of Scotland's finest athletes, Jockey Wilson, wasn't he?
Oh, aye, Jockey. Sportsman. She gets sportsman of the year. Aye, he was God, he was fair.
Aye, some man.
I think he was a blue nose, though. I'm sure he was a blue nose.
I think so, mate. I think so.
Aye.
Listen, Andy. The Mora. I know we don't have bounce games, but that's what it feels like, doesn't it?
Aye, I'd put the boys in. I know them all, but that'd be young boy Fraser looked all right. When he's going, wee bit of pace about him, and young McKinnon. So I don't know if he'll play the two of them. Still the two of them, but I would. I can't tell us because I can't see Hertz. But nah, they maybe do the same as us. They're maybe putting boys out that's not had a few kind of. They're secured third place, so they maybe do the same. Put some boys out to give them a wee bit first team experience. So I don't know. Did we not horse them last 2 years ago for the boys up there?
Aye.
Before we went for Seville. I think we beat them at 4-1 or something, was it? 3 or 4-1.
That was the start of an interesting week, wasn't it? Giant.
That was that, aye. But that's it.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I'm
was,
saying.
wasn't it?
It's these circumstances. We've no luck for years. There's a penalty kick away for winning. He's straight into the big European tournament. One penalty kick away, and then that if they won that, you could have probably get more players out because they get a lot more money for them. And they might things are different. But anyway, you can't say if your granny had, she would be your granny. But these one of these things. Hopefully, we're due a bit of luck. First bit of luck we've had all season when Clement put that in for a cross in the back of the net. That's the first bit of luck we've had in the park. As in, Kevin breaks the ball, we've got things after the post, hitting after the crossbar. But that was the first bit of luck we've had. It wasn't a cross, it wasn't a shot, it was a cross. So,
Aye, well,
hopefully.
I think that's fair. I don't think we've had the rubber and blue this year. UK.
No. When you can break it down, the first All Firm game of the year at Ibrox, Dessers wins the ball, doesn't he? Fairly in our eyes, but VAR see it differently. And then you compare it to that penalty they got last week. What's the difference? For me, Dessers, that goal should have stood, and it's just been for there. But we can't really blame it on bad luck. We've been the benefit of our own downfall ourselves. We've been in charge here. We could have won, and we've failed in essence when you break it down. So, you make your own luck at this game, so to speak. Be being the better team, taking your chances when you should be, and taking your opportunities to exert a wee bit of pressure on them. You could even go back as far as Motherwell at Ibrox as well. Ox, they would to go to Tynecastle the next day. We lose at Ibrox, Hearts beat them. That's another kind of 6 point swing where we could have took advantage of it, and we didn't. And then it was just like, what did we finish with there? Was it 10 points or something we dropped in the last 8 games? You can't do that when you're looking to win a league.
Aye, that's fair. Giant.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, isn't it? It's got to be. We've had opportunities and different times to go on top, haven't taken them. Like you say, I think the one that goes under the radar that AK pointed out is actually the Motherwell game, because obviously they went and got beat. You never know what result could have happened if we won, but that's the obvious one, isn't it? We got out of jail, but could have stamped some authority. But without being, not praise to them, but whatever, but see if you can't beat a team in four attempts, I don't believe you deserve to win the league. I've got to be honest. You've got to prove you're better than a team. And you can talk about rubber to green or whatever, but with opportunities, we've not gone out and beat them.
Andy,
that's a fundamental.
Aye, that's a good point. But Andy, one of the things that's frustrated me, we've just not started in games, put ourselves under pressure.
No, said that slow. You can tell soon the kick off. I can tell within 5 minutes whether we're up for this or no. And 9 times out of 10 or no, until something happens. We get a goal against us, and we get the break of the ball and we score, then the thing even when we go 1-0 up, we sit back again. We've never started. We've always said maybe I get taken off, or I get first off, then we've went to sleep second off. But like I said, they're always scouting. We didn't start at all. And then we get lucky. We got the goal. And you're saying, well, that's 1-0. Let's finish it. And then we were crap taken off. And then because we can beat 3-1 with the last 15 minutes, we're all out. Same with the game on Sunday. I came off due to 10 men, but the last 15, 20 minutes we pounded them. We should be pressing teams all the time. And that's what I liked about the other team. For the start, they were in it. And it was like the 10-second rule to get the ball back. And they did play good football. But once you get a decent team, the second year, they were really good to watch. Because they were setting off the front foot, and you were hounding them. You were pressing every team you played. I don't know. Hopefully Big Club wants to get bring his own players in. But he's got to have. They can't sack him if think it's better, whatever it is. You've got to give him at least two windies. You've got to give him a full year and see where it takes us. But here's a good start for the beginning of the season and see how it goes. But you've got to, as JM says, you've got to win at least 2 of your Old Firm games. You win your home games. Parkhead's always been hard to get results, even with Smith. We went there with Smith, we've had Gaza and Loudon, we still never won, but we have beat them. But we did beat them our first year at Parkhead with the 9-0 team. But we went there and get beat a few times here, so it's hard to get a result here at the best of times, even with a good team, because everybody's against you. See, I remember going years. I was at when Alec Muller scored. I remember that was the first time we beat him for about 10 years or something up there.
7 years. 7 years.
Province stood in front of
we went 8 years after that, mate.
That's right, aye. I was at that game. Some kick there.
Once
we Buddy kind of shy. I think Province stood in front of him, then we Bud moved a couple of yards. Bang. The rest is history, they say. The best goals, one of the best games I've seen at Parkhead was Big Haley, a double. In 2-0. Right, it was into the Rangers empty.
Big Haley scored a few up there, aye. I get your point, JM. I mean, with the setup in the league, you play somebody 4 times, you take 1 point off them. You give yourself a mountain to climb, ain't you? They're 9 points.
Yeah, you're asking other teams, and then we're asking teams to do what we're not capable of doing, and that's beating them. But when we're getting beat, but we're accusing other teams of rolling over. It's quite laughable sometimes, isn't it? We're constantly for years we've been expecting other teams to do us favours when it's a joke. We've not been capable of beating them. Robert agrees sometimes, absolutely yes, but not for the number of games that we've not won in. When it matters. Obviously, there was the one with the Beale at 3-0, but there was the 2 games at Hampden that at that similar time we were an embarrassment, weren't we? As well. There's been something fundamentally wrong with how we've approached the games against them for a couple of seasons now.
We don't seem to be able to get our set up right, Andy. Does that make sense to you?
Aye, we don't. You can't be predictable all the time because teams suss you out. If you're playing each other 4 times, by the time the second game comes round, their managers are sussing you out, saying that's the way they play. And we've got a big enough squad that we can make an alternate. You were saying everybody, Nick Granny said last week, we've got to put an extra man in the midfield for that game Saturday there. And as you do, same team. So they're running out happy. That McGregor and O'Neill Riley's run the show. See, if you put Big Stiller in there, they still come out in the white right again. You put him in there, and that's you. They're not going to. They choosing the middle of that. They're not going to win many balls. The same when you're playing at home. You don't need 2 sitters when you're playing at home. They always do. So I don't know. Horses for courses, but hopefully we'll be a bit more flexible next year, and you'll have enough players in the squad that can adapt. Right, this is how you're playing because they play different in Europe. They changed it against Bet. That's another thing. The inconsistency. We couldn't beat a team for Cyprus twice. The lowest ranked team in that league. We beat the Spanish team in a way. It doesn't make sense.
That's a fair shout, AK.
No, it doesn't make sense. We couldn't beat a separate team, but we beat the Spanish twice over the way.
Aye, I've said that myself, Andy, a few shows ago. We can't beat a separate mob at home, but we can go to Spain, a place where we've no won in, was it 26 times? Oxford we've visited Spain and never won. And there we go to Betis and win. But we've lost 7 league games over the course of the season as well, as our poor results against them. You can't win a league with losing 7 games. I think I read a stat as well that under Rodgers, Celtic have lost or dropped more points this season than what Postecoglou did for 2 seasons. So that just shows you how, they're not great either, but we're worse. So it doesn't reflect well on us.
I think a lot of stats the games have lost to the piece, and obviously 3 against them. That's a starter, isn't it? There's a starter. If that's 21 and you win 2 of them, your league campaign's completely different, Jaya, because there's a massive swing.
Yeah, 100%. And it doesn't help when you forget all the results at the first. Okay, it's all about timing. You're giving them 3 points at the start after the first weekend of going out with the wrong team. I know it's all, and points mean, over the season it all adds up. It don't, the points add up, but it's the timing of these matches as well. And when we're losing them, and the amount of games we've lost is unacceptable, isn't it? And you can't give away that. You can't give away that many points and expect to win the league, and especially when it's a swing. What is it? 3 defeats against them, 2 defeats, and the point swing that there is in that. You're not going to win the league.
Oh, you've given yourself a mountain claiming his usage. You're relying on us. Andy, you're the head of recruitment. What's your first signing position going to be?
First signing, centre half, maybe 2 centre halves. I think we're coming for left back if we get this boy in for they're talking about, and we've got keep Redvan, and then we've got young Fraser. So I think we're left back's all right. If we play still at right back or middle, I don't know. But centre half's my first signing, and then 2 midfielders with legs we need, definitely. A right winger and a top-notch striker. That's priority. They're all priority. So that's the way I would think it. If we need to try and keep Butland at all costs, if we go for silly money for him, they'll sell him. But anything below 20 million, try and keep a hold of him. It's up to the boy whether he wants to stay or no. But that's true. If we keep Butland still in, Redvan, McCausland's all right. So I'd reckon we need 5 top class players, 2 running, 2 midfielders with legs. I think right, as old Bridgeman says, like right good centre half, maybe 2, a right side and a left side, and definitely the right winger, an actual right winger. I don't know if we caught this where he can play left and right or whatever. If we sign him, but we've got to fund it. But I think we're going to save something in a year, be decent with the players that's going out, give their wages. Something said that, but it's 120 quid.
I don't know if it's as much as that, mate. Maybe about
15, maybe.
10, it
depends. I don't know who's got rid of. I can't have 8-year contract, so there's 3 big earners in there, aren't they? And the rest are all made up.
Talking about big earners, and what did you call me earlier on? We'll be joined by the South Side. Evening, South Side.
Evening. All right, Andy, how are you, pal?
Evening, South Side. How are you, mate?
Good to hear you.
What
about you? Sorry, night you're on with the other 3 roasters tonight, mate. You've been listening to some of their nonsense.
See, I found in the Wednesday night, but dream thing with Wednesday, but dream team Wednesday, but I work on Wednesday night. You know what I mean?
Not a problem.
I still listen to you, still you listen to you in the big one, no, it's been a good show. We just have to go, mate. That's outside. Hopefully get a double next week and that's it.
I know, I've been listening to JM. I'm getting up tomorrow at 7:30 for a friendly, no. But that's what you have to do, go and support the famous Glasgow Rangers.
Mr. Banker. Was your team tomorrow, Southside? Have you any ideas?
Team? Butland, Tav, King, Davis, and Robbie Fraser, Diamande, Raskin, Silva, Cantwell, McCausland, and Dessers will start.
Pretty much based on the team that played the other night, then, roughly.
Yep.
We've not got a lot of options, if we're honest, have we?
Could maybe Scott Wright might get flung in. He might put him in instead of McCausland. They might just start him. He could do that, but there isn't a lot. Cole McKinnon.
I think he scored his goals for the season, mate, hasn't
he? He could. I mean, technically, he could probably drop Tav and maybe play Cole McKinnon at right back just to give him a rest before the cup final. He could, but I don't think he will. I think he'll probably try and play Maestrom, but finish the game on Maestrom for the last game there. Like Robbie Fraser will probably start, I think. I'm surprised. I heard them saying about Ridvan. That surprised me. I expected Ridvan to go in and play maybe even 45 minutes and then come off.
This is a sports science, mate, because he played 60, can he play so soon, mate? It's baffling. You know, I know I'm a bit younger than you, but it's baffling.
I know, well, it sounds like he's having to pick a team. It sounds like the medical team's picking their team then, doesn't it?
That's it.
Because they're sort of telling, that's what it's, no, I mean, these ones are tied then, isn't it? If they're telling them he can't start on the morrow.
Aye. I mean, Red Van looked all right, and he had that run when he went up the middle. It looked really effective, didn't he?
Aye. I seen Robbie Fraser was obviously warming up, and then you sort of seen him come. He took his top off at the dugout, and then Red Van went in that mad run right through the middle and had the shot, and he told him to put his tap back on, but it was only for a couple of minutes. No, and then obviously he came on. But no, I honestly thought he would probably have started at least. I probably had 45 minutes. And then probably changed it, you know. That's what I really thought, you know. But obviously,
they'll go long. I just want you to think. I'm going to, before I go to the rest of the boys, just thinking what you're thinking on that press conference. It was pretty damning, wasn't it?
Aye, he's not happy about a lot of things, and I've got players that are breaking down all the time, so there's obviously causes for it, and he seems to know what some of them are. Also, the other thing I thought was he said he can't be doing everything today as well. So it has to be more delegation, which surprised me. So it looks like he's had a lot to deal with in the background as well, but it sounds of what he was talking about.
I'm sure it'll all come in the wash. Last word for your good self. I know you're just in Southside. It's always good to hear from you, mate. And by the way, I doffed my hat to you. So you've had a go every week for the Super Six. You started on a blaze of glory. You didn't even put it on for your mate. You knew he was away, and then you've carried on. You've hit the bar. You've missed a sitter. You've had ups and downs, and what a laugh you've gave us. Fair play, you big.
There's certainly been more downs than ups. I'll give you that lately. I still, and that one I put on that I couldn't even put out to the listeners. That was just the way it was. I just didn't want the half-12 kick-off and that line stoats and all. Do you know what I mean? But aye, listen, I've had to go for wins this week because the 2.5 goals wasn't coming up too much. So I've got a line on, actually. I've got 2 up already. I've done the 2 games tonight, or 2.5 goals. So that's just, I've got 4 tomorrow. But no, listen, we've got to keep my heads up. Looking forward to tomorrow, going to Tynecastle. Wish it had been something better at the end of it. But no, it's good. Listen, there's no law he's going to be in there tomorrow, and I'm grateful for getting a ticket. Biggie knows who he is, so I'd like to thank him. I know he listens to the show now and again, so no, let's go tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get 3 points and maybe put on a good performance in that day and then get up the road.
Then we can turn our attention to next week. Right, okay, last word for your good self, the one and only Andy Fairley.
Thanks very much, Ox. Thanks for taking my call again, boys. Always good to talk to you. You always cheer me up. Well, how they matter how low I am. But no, it's the best show in the tune. But thanks for taking my call. Hopefully, I've won before the end of the season. Hopefully, we'll get double done next week and that bit and shut the monkey mob up for a wee while. You know what I mean? Anyway, all the best, boys. Enjoy your solar morning, Southside. Get a pint for a big
cheers, Andy.
All right. I'm going to put a wee tear on. Might as well. Yeah, that'll buy a kebab. I'll just put a 10 on yours. Right, cheers, boys. All the
best. Last one, Giant.
Yep. Hopefully, just rough week, but we got there, and then looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully, see a few kids, maybe a start to what we might see next season. Just hope we get through it with no injuries, and we can start building up to a cup final.
Just to the luck the way it's went. AK.
Thanks to yourself again for hosting, JM, the callers for joining us there. Look forward to tomorrow. A wee shout out for Southside. I believe that's him done a full season. No missing a game apart from the 2 games where they can't get going. So well done for that. Your dedication at our club. Fantastic, mate. But can I just give a wee shout out to my mother? Heard you weren't well there during the week, Ian. My dad's listening back. Just hope you keep well. Thanks again, Ox.
Cheers, well. I get well soon. Mrs. K, you've got a lot to put up with.
Aye.
Listen, All the best to Andy Fairvin. Always great to have on. Great. Southside appeared. Top man. AK and JM for doing the show superb. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow at 11:30 as we build up to make sure I get the time right. I mean, it's a 12:30 kick-off. I'm right, isn't I? Anybody? I've not even checked.
Gun to my head. 2 seconds.
Aye, 12:30. They're all 12:30. So Rangers Radio will be back at
12:30
tomorrow as we build up. We hope the Rangers victory away at Tynecastle. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the match tomorrow. Take it away. Old School Boy.